Hey, Countdown to the Geeks. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us again for another awesome guest creator, writer, artist. Nasser, of course, is joining us. We haven't been together in, what, a month?
No, I think more than that, man. After the convention in November, I kind of dropped off the face of the planet to rest, but I'm back. I'm ready to interview and ask some questions, especially of this guest because I'm a huge fan. So,
Yeah, same. I found out about her with Mothra and Turtles. Nasser has been an OG from the beginning. We're going to hear the story from that. We're going to hear about her love for kaiju and Godzilla and all that stuff as well. And then we're going to talk about Supergirl, her getting the job for Supergirl, and what fans can expect who haven't been reading it and are going to be able to get on the series that's going to have a new jumping on point for people who can start reading it and catch up afterwards. But if you don't know who this guest is, Sophie Campbell has been a phenomenal writer and artist. And this is the book we're talking about. Matt Frank is a friend of ours. He's from San Antonio, guys, if you don't know this. He is a Power Ranger, Turtle, Transformer fan, and I helped him get his first cover for Power Rangers back in the day. But yeah, and then of course, if you didn't know, this issue is she did the cover as well. Awesome stuff. Let's get her in the room. Let's not wait any longer. Let's talk to Sophie.
Hey guys, thanks for
hi,
having
so
me.
thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being patient because I'm so everything takes me so long to do.
I've heard you talk about in other interviews about like your ADHD. Is that part of why?
I'm a mess. Like it is wild how time slips through my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ray, he would like email me and then I'd be like, oh, I gotta reply to him. And then I would reply and like notice it in the corner that like 8 days had passed or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I totally understand that as someone who also suffers from ADHD. It's either vacillating between the hyper-focus periods or the periods of just not wanting to do stuff and just bored by everything. And so,
it's rough.
I'm there with you guys. Mine is I'm more hyper focused my stuff, and I'm always constantly thinking about the next thing. But I do get the squirrel thing occasionally, which is funny how everybody has a different form. And hearing the stories is awesome.
I think like my thing is I'm never bored, like except by the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I want to do like everything else, like even just like lying on the couch not doing anything, like not even watching TV, like that's more exciting than like whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, that really is a good lead into, because we usually like to go back and ask our guests like how they got started or what got them interested in comics. So as a kid, were you the kid in class that was not paying attention? You were always drawing and writing and stuff?
Yes, I was like always drawing during class, but I feel like I was really lucky because like many of my teachers, they kind of like recognized that I had like something going on, like some kind of talent or something, and like a lot of them would let me draw during class.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And they wouldn't be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They wouldn't stop me. And they would just let me do whatever. So
there's like Sophie's doing her own thing.
Yeah, she's drawing silly monsters, over there. That's fine.
So even at that young of an age, were you coming up with your own stories already?
Yeah, I mean they weren't very good. It was just silly, like little strips and stuff. Various little cartoon characters and things like that.
Yeah. So was there anything that you were reading that got you into wanting to do comics?
I think Calvin and Hobbes is like the kind of starting point, I think, for all of that. And then because that was still like running in the newspaper and stuff at the time. Mm-hmm. And the old Eastman and Laird Turtles comics were like the next thing to come along.
Oh, okay. So you were an OG Turtles.
That was
Nice.
like like I was never a huge like TV watching kid, and everybody was into the turtle cartoon at that time, like 1990 or whatever, and I had like a bunch of the toys, but the cartoon just didn't quite click for me or whatever. And then I discovered the Mirage Turtles through the 1985 Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness RPG book,
Okay.
Palladium. And they had all the red masks, Kevin and Peter were like doing all the art for the book, and I was like, what are these turtles? They look different. What's going on? And then I got some of the old comics, and they're swearing and stabbing people, and
Yeah.
I was like, what's this? This isn't like that cartoon.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I was like,
so you were into the extreme Turtles, huh? So.
Yeah, and like after I discovered the Mirage stuff, I was kind of like a Mirage purist for like many years after that.
Were you going around school telling like that's not the real Turtles?
Absolutely. Like I was in 4th grade drawing the turtles with all red masks or whatever, and everybody's like, "How come they're all Raphael?" You don't know anything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was telling Ray that like I feel like that's a blind spot for me in my comic reading. I've never read any of the old Mirage stuff.
Oh, they're so good. They're like I appreciate them more now than I did when I was a kid, because like I was like a child or whatever, but like there's like the it's all great, but like the first like 11 issues of the Mirage series plus like the micro series or whatever are like
So even as an adult you say they hold up?
Absolutely, yeah. Like sometimes I'll just be like really sick of Ninja Turtles, It's like I don't even want to like see a Ninja Turtle anymore. I'm so tired of it. And then for some reason I'll end up like flipping through a Mirage thing, or just like looking at Mirage stuff on the internet or whatever, and I'll just get like sucked right back into it.
Well, jumping too ahead, I mean, Nasser is an OG on your books. Was that prior? Because I wasn't there yet. I jumped on a little bit later on the turtle stuff and the art. So for the turtle of it, did it come before your book, and then you get to work on the turtle stuff, doing artwork and stuff like that?
Yeah, because my indie stuff, I was doing that, and I think Wet Moon Volume 1 came out in like 2004.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I didn't start working on turtle stuff till like 2007, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's about right. That's when I jumped on when I started noticing it. Because your art, you have a unique art style. Where did you find your art style?
I don't know. I was, way back in the day, I was, really trying to draw like, Kevin and Peter on Turtles, and, alternating between like trying to be Jim Waters or Bill Watterson. Who's Jim Watterson? I just like made Bill Watterson. And then in college, I went through like a major manga anime phase.
Oh, okay.
And I was like a major weeb for a few years. And so, I was drawing in this like very Japanese kind of style. And then like after that, I was just like I gotta stop drawing like this. I gotta like do my own thing or something. I'm about to graduate. I can't be like, aping these comics anymore. And I just kind of like, burned it all down and then built it up into like whatever it is I started doing, after that.
Nice.
Yeah, and for viewers who don't know, Sophie, you went to Savannah College of Art and Design, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you already, by the time you're headed to college, you knew comics is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. Like there was, like other periods where like, like I wanted to do like fashion design or something, or
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about because you do such a great job with
Yeah.
clothing designs and hair and makeup and stuff.
Thank
Was there
you.
ever a time you ever wanted to do fashion or a makeup artist or anything like that?
Yeah, like in college, I was just like, I should go into fashion. Like comics it's too hard. Like I should just go into fashion. And then I discovered that for like a lot of the classes that they offered, like I would have to sew my own clothes. I was like, I can't do that. Like I just want to draw them and have somebody else,
Someone else make my design.
someone else do the hard part. Yeah.
Okay. Because
Oh
yeah,
man.
especially on your gem and the holograms
Yeah.
work, man, the clothing all throughout just that first trade of 6 issues and the hairstyles going throughout that series, and man, I love it. So that's what made me think like, hey, Sophie could have had a had a career as a fashion designer or a
Yeah, it would have been so
hairstylist or something.
fun. Yeah, that would have been great.
Dang.
Oh,
That is
except for
true.
the sewing part, right?
Yeah.
So when the turtles, so doing your independent work, caught somebody's eye, did they reach out to you saying, "Hey, we have some books we are looking at for artists on," or how did they approach you?
For the turtle stuff, because back in 2007, the turtles were still at Mirage. They hadn't been
Yeah.
sold to Viacom yet. So this major turtles writer, this guy Steve Murphy, who also did like a lot of licensing stuff for them. Like I cannot remember how I got his email, but
Oh
somehow
wow.
I got his email, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was just like, yeah, like you should just email him, just do it. And I was like, yeah, I guess I don't really have anything to lose. Like he doesn't know who I am, so like, what's the worst that could happen? He just doesn't reply. Fine. And so I cold emailed him on Hotmail, and sent along some of my Turtles fan art and stuff, and that was it.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
the courage you have when you're young, right?
I still do. No, I still do that. I'll still
Just cold emails?
Yeah, because like, what do you really have to lose?
But now you have a name. Like when Sophie Campbell
That's
emails
true.
someone, it's like,
That's true.
oh, the Sophie Campbell, right?
That's true. But I still think like, the point that like, what do you have to lose still stands, because like
That's true.
like what's the worst that could happen?
That's true.
No,
But
that's the truth, because that's what I'm doing here. I love all these artists. I've loved them for years, and I've loved the comics for years. I've been wanting to do this podcast stuff for like back in 2004 when Kevin Smith, I started listening to his podcast. When I pitched it to the one store I worked for, they laughed at me. So I was like, oh, I don't even know where to start. I don't have the equipment. And then years later, I meet Ted. He has his whole setup already. And I'm like, man, I want to do a podcast where I get to sit down with creators, talk about their careers. And then, dude, he's like, do what you want. He's like, do what you want. I'm doing what you said. I send the email. I send the Instagram. I sent them like, hey, I would love to get you on, blah, blah, blah. It started with I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll get 2 interviews a month with artists and writers. Now I'm doing like 4 to 5 a month with comic book creators. Yeah, but it's that thing, like you said, that cold, because you had the passion. Your passions were turtles. Your passion was art. And you just said, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? That worst case, like you said, what can they tell you? No.
Yeah, or you go to their junk folder and they never see you, which
that's true too.
Right?
I did hear in a previous interview that part of your motivation too for like submitting your stuff right out of college was your fear of like, what am I gonna do after college?
Yeah, like I definitely had a moment like senior year where I was just like, oh no, like graduation's coming up, and like I don't know how to do anything. And I was just like, I don't know, like maybe SCAD is different now, but at the time I felt like it was just like too easy. They didn't give enough work, they didn't give hard enough work. And most of college for me was just hanging around, like playing video games, and it's like it was like a fantasy world, and then as soon, like once graduation was like on the horizon, I was like, like, oh my God, like I don't know anything. Like I didn't pay attention in all those life drawing classes. I was too busy just drawing like aliens or whatever. Like I don't know anything. And I feel like I've been like kind of playing catch up like ever since then.
So is it like on the technical stuff that you thought you were behind, like perspective or like things like that? Or was it like something else that you just felt?
Yeah, it was mostly like, like perspective, anatomy, just kind of like, I don't know, basic drawing skills. Like I just knew that I wasn't ready, like when graduation was coming.
Maybe you were the gifted and talented kid that it was just way too easy for you, and there were other people just struggling through the same stuff.
But like, I just wish there had been a professor who was like a hard ass, where like I'm in life drawing class and I'm like turning the model into like a monster or something. Or like, I remember, assignments where we had to like ink like a Spider-Man page, and instead of just like straight inking it, like doing the assignment, like I would just, I would draw Peter Parker, you would have like blood coming out of his eyes, or just like I would just kind of goof off, and I wish I had a professor who was like, stop goofing off, like be serious, like this is serious. Like if you keep goofing off and drawing monsters during life drawing class, like you're not going to know how to draw a person, blah blah blah. Like I just wish I had a professor who was like that to kind of just give me like a reality check or something.
So then once you were out in the industry and doing the work, how did you feel like you tried to catch up on that? Is it just getting the reps?
Yeah.
I guess so. Like, I guess like once you just start drawing like all the time, like it's kind of, like there's going to be some improvement there because you're just doing it like over and over and over again. And I feel like I did a lot of like learning on the job, like I'll look back at stuff I did 20 years ago and just be like, ooh, that's not how an arm goes or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and it was very apparent even right away on those like first couple of volumes of Wet Moon. You could see that your style was changing. And I remember, I guess I got to volume 3 and all of a sudden nobody had pupils.
Right. Like they were like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, like,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Like stuff got like really cartoony in volume 3. And then in like volumes 4 and 5, I kind of like pulled back from that again.
Yeah.
And like, maybe that's an ADHD thing where like every volume I'm just like, I don't want to draw it how like I did before. I want to do something else. I don't know.
Because that was a question I did want to ask if that was a stylistic choice but it sounds like you might have just, whatever. I don't feel like
it was both a stylistic choice and just kind of like naturally changing, from, because like you said before we started recording that there would be like these gaps between the books. I'm like, I was doing like other things in those gaps. Yeah. So like, like I would do a Wet Moon book and then I would go off and do something that like actually paid money. And then I would come back to Wet Moon with this whole other project like under my belt that would kind of like inform like whatever it was I was doing next.
Like new tools in your tool set now.
New tools. Maybe I, realized that like how I was drawing noses like wasn't working, so I would like toss that out and do something else.
Working on a series like Wet Moon that went across like over a decade, so that sounds like that could be a benefit that like, hey, you're improving for the next book, but were there also challenges on having a series across that many years?
Yeah, for sure. Like just like I would get fans who would be like, the style sucks now, like I hate you. Like I'm not gonna read this anymore. And just like like I've always wanted, there are books out there that are kind of like, there's like a lot of manga that has this quality that like it's this kind of like singular work, this like singular like magnum opus or something, like you can be like, okay, here's this here's this comic. It has 10 volumes and it's all like relatively consistent and it's like really great and like cohesive, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I've just like never been capable of that. Like I'm too messy. And like with Wet Moon, like every volume kind of looks different, and it just kind of wrecks that like singular cohesive work that I'm always trying to do.
Yeah, but it's great seeing your evolution. Like
Yeah, that's what I was
another one of
bringing up
my
about.
favorite creators is Jeff Lemire, and I have a whole shelf behind me of Jeff Lemire work in chronological order because I
Oh,
like seeing
neat.
how it changes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like, we got that with your Wet Moon because, like I said, it's over a decade, so we get to see how you changed and how you improved on things, or how you decided to make somebody look a little bit different, or things like that.
Yeah. And like that was a big thing with Wet Moon where I was always trying to make the characters look different from each
Mhm.
other. Like I feel in the first book, like they're different, but like their faces look like a little samey. And I'm like, and I think volume 3 where I was just like, what if Cleo had giant eyes? Like I was just kind of like trying to figure out these ways, these like clear, like you look at a character's face like in isolation and like immediately who they are, like that kind of thing. And I think I'm always like trying to make characters look distinct, like like
Yeah,
people do in real life.
yeah. You
Nice.
definitely had a diverse cast that reflected what you see and just going down the street.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
did that sharpen the tools to the point where you said, you know what, I'm really liking the writing, and I really want to do both now more? Is that where that came from? Where you started to like, hey, I could do both now? You know what I mean?
I did both. Like I did like some work with other writers like really early on at Oni, but
Okay.
like right out of the gate, pretty much like Wet Moon 1, I was writing it, and I think I'm trying to remember like all the stuff I was doing. Like I think kind of like just work for hire stuff was stuff that I would.
The job for hire
Um,
basically is what kind of got you.
yeah, like like I feel like that's like a little bit harder to break in to as a writer, where they're kind of like, well, we have like our people,
Yeah.
but we like your art. Like it took me years to get them to get IDW to let me write turtle stuff.
Hmm.
You know.
But you had, and this is where I was going to bring in who did Border for Hire, and they then getting them to do Turtles when you finally got to do Turtles, which they were great. By the way, and I'm actually going to bring up one of the things that you did just recently write a couple of pages for, which was freaking awesome stuff.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Yeah, that was. I have very complex feelings about Battle Nexus.
so,
Um, yeah, good,
who?
good.
Okay, I got to ask, which is your favorite turtle? That's what I was going to
Uh,
ask. That was,
Leonardo.
oh, okay,
Okay,
okay.
that's what I was gonna ask too. Because on one of the back on one of the Wet Moon books, Sophie, you do say you can't make up your mind between Leonardo or Raphael. So you have
It's
made up
true.
your mind now.
Yeah, a lifelong struggle, because like way back in grade school, I feel like there was this kind of like anti Leonardo kind of
Well,
like
yeah, he was
current.
the square, right? He was the
Right,
leader.
he was the square. And if you said you liked Leo, people were just like, "You're a dork. You're stupid." And so, like back then, like like I was like, "Oh, I love Raphael," but like secretly, I was like Leonardo.
It's, it's so funny how I don't find a lot of people who just love Michelangelo, even though he's the fun-loving party guy, right?
I feel like it changes. Like I remember back when I was on Twitter, and they would have like the poll function, and like every few years I would do a poll, like who's your favorite turtle, and it would give you like the percentages and stuff. And I feel like I used to say, I feel like Leo was people's least favorite, like back when I was like little, and
Mhm.
then for a while I felt like Leo kind of like made inroads on people's favorite turtle, and then
Mhm.
Donatello was like
Yeah.
his least favorite, right? And then I remember on Twitter, I did a poll maybe like 6 years ago or something, and Donatello like crushed every other turtle. And I was like, whoa, what
Yeah.
happened? And I feel
Uh-huh.
like like throughout the years and like generations or whatever, like people's generally favorite turtle changes for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but I'm sure if I asked around in like 5 years from now, like maybe Michelangelo will be the most. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I gotta ask, how did you come up with this story to put? I mean, you have Raph going in a battle. I mean, how did you come up with that story? Without giving spoilers, just where did that story come from?
Well, originally, Battle Nexus was supposed to be a Venus story. Like my
Oh,
my original idea was Venus versus the Battle Nexus, and
oh, okay.
it was the turtles. They weren't even in it. It was Venus slash he comes back to life. That was in my original pitch. And it was basically just them trying to figure out how to get out of the Battle Nexus, right? And
Oh,
then
wow.
it, working with the editor, it would change, and it was just like, yeah, we kind of have to put the turtles in it because they sell the books, right? I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. And then there was a point where like Venus was out, so it's like not a Venus story anymore. And then with the turtles in it, it kind of became this whole other thing. And then I was working on Supergirl, or like, I got the Supergirl job, and I was just like, I can't work on this whole thing anymore. So like we did it where it's like different, each like
Yeah.
issue is by a different writer. And yeah, and then the Alopex thing, it just seemed like a no-brainer, right? Like if for like, okay, like toss out my stupid Venus story. Now it's this whole other thing. Like, who should, Alopex should obviously be in it, right? And she should fight Raph. It kind of just wrote itself.
So you were supposed to write the whole run of the Battle Nexus?
Yeah, at one point, like, because it
Oh,
started
wow.
with this Venus thing, and
Oh,
then
okay.
at one point, I was like, yeah, I got this new job, I got this Supergirl job, and I'm just
Yeah,
this
that
Battle Nexus
focus.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like a whole other animal now. It's not my thing anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that story you put together, I love the fight scenes. Great
Oh,
fight
thank you.
scenes.
Yeah. I
Yeah, and then the
wanted,
artist. Yeah.
like, I'm really into fight scenes that like go on for like way too long. Like, have you guys seen They Live, the John Carpenter movie?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Oh,
it's so great. But there's this fight scene between Keith David and Roddy Piper, and it just goes on like you think it's done, and you're like, oh, okay, and then Keith David comes like barreling in like off screen, and they start fighting again, right? And it just goes on and on and on, and it's great. And then another one I like to cite is from The Raid 2. Have you seen that one?
yeah, that's another good one too. Dude, you're killing this,
I
Nasser.
haven't seen. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Nasser,
I
come
read
on.
I read lots of comics and watch TV. That's it.
But in the Raid 2, there's that fight scene
Yeah, I know what you're talking
between
about.
Rama and the assassin in the kitchen. And it just like it goes on, and you're just like, oh my god, like you're like exhausted by the time it's over. And like the characters are exhausted. They're just like
Yeah.
leaning on each other because they're so tired, like still fighting, and there's something about that I really love. And so that was Battle Nexus number 3. I was just like, yeah, it should just be
Non-stop fighting.
Raphael and Alopex like kicking the shit out of each other for like 15 pages, right?
And
And
it,
like,
it was.
yeah,
That's
it
what.
just goes and goes, and like, I think my script was like a bit bloodier than we were allowed to do. Like I had it written where it was like, the snow in this like circle around them becomes this like bloody
No
red
way.
like slurry and stuff, because they're just like just bleeding all over the place.
Wow.
And like, yeah.
Man.
Only
See,
long fight I can relate it to is Family Guy, Peter Griffin versus the giant chicken.
That's what I have not seen.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. Yes.
So you were
that's hilarious.
finishing up your turtle work when you were already starting on Supergirl?
No, I had already
Oh.
been. I don't know. Fired sounds harsh, but I had already been moved off the main series by that point.
And are you able to talk about like why they decided a new direction? Was it just to freshen things up, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
I think it was kind of.
Because I mean, you were on the series for years, right?
Yeah, I wrote like 50 issues or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, in comics nowadays, that's
yeah,
a
it's crazy.
huge chunk. Yeah.
It was like, I think, we were getting to, issue 150, and, with these ongoing series, it's like, you got to freshen them up, every once in a while. And it wasn't like they were like, Sophie, you're out. They didn't like, it was, it's like, pack your bags.
Pack your shell.
Yeah, pack your shell. Take your ninja weapon and get out of here. But like, I do, I had outlines and stuff for post 150, right? Like I had this whole Casey Jones thing I wanted to do. And
so they just sprung it on you that like, hey, you're not going to be doing this anymore?
Kind of. They were like, I can't remember how close it was. I think it was before I started working on the final arc.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't. Yeah, they were just like, hey, like we're bringing a new team in. I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just finish out my story. I guess I don't know.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's. I'm not trying to. Well, maybe I'm trying to throw them under the bus a little bit. But
well, like we said, 4 years. I mean,
goes.
that's kind of unheard of now in monthly comics. So
yeah, like I'm incredibly grateful that I got to do 50 issues, which is like you're saying is unheard of. It's crazy. But there's still like a part of me that's like a little bitter about it. Just like at least you could have thrown me a bone and let me do my Alopex spinoff, which I had this whole thing I wanted to do.
Oh man.
Because oh god. So okay. So here's more background on Battle Nexus. So originally, I had this Alopex spinoff pitch. It was like 5 or 6 issues or whatever, and it was basically going to be her versus Ninjara, right?
Oh wow.
Okay.
And so Ninjara, in the Alopex spinoff, I actually posted art of this design where she's like. She looks like wild or whatever. She's got like red eyes and stuff. And so basically the story was that Ninjara had her tail cut off by this guy, Dr. Farrell. And without her tail, she is just like this wild beast, right? Like in the forest or whatever. And so Alopex like runs into her, and Alopex she feels like domesticated, like after her time with the turtles, right? Like she's been tamed, and she's like, she's got the weasels in tow, and she's like, we got to get like our inner beast back, right? And then she meets Ninjara, who is like what Alopex like wants to be. She's like this wild, free, like bestial figure, right? And so, they would, end up being friends or whatever. They would get Ninjara's tail back, and then she would kind of like make herself over into this like, now that she has like her faculties back, she kind of like, brushes her hair or whatever, dresses like nicer, and she kind of like becomes the Archie Ninjara that people remember, right? And then the Alopex series would have ended with Ninjara like okay, I gotta go to the Battle Nexus now, bye. And she gets her like purple costume, her classic costume or whatever. and she goes into a portal and leaves. And then the Venus series would pick up with Ninjara, like as Ninjara, because that's her like ring name, right? And
dang.
so that was my original plan, and like obviously like none of that happened. So with the Battle of Nexus series that we did do, you know, I was just like, well, Ninjara's got to be in it. Like I know her whole thing was like a sequel to this other series that didn't happen, but I still demand that she's in it. So that's why she's in Battle Nexus.
Nice.
Well, maybe you can still do it because like they didn't get rid of anything you did. They just continued like the continuity, right?
Yeah, it's all the same continuity. Like I'm still kind of holding out hope that at some point
we'll cross our fingers for you.
they'll greenlight my Alopex spinoff.
Well, so within that time process, where did you and Matt find time? And did you pitch them this one, or how did this one go? How did you get Mothra, Queen of the Monsters? How did this story come about?
So that started with me pitching a Godzilla series years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, I was just like, how do I pitch a Godzilla series that doesn't have anything that I don't feel like drawing in it? Which is like cities, crowds of people, and like military vehicles. Like, how can I do that and still do Godzilla? So I came up with the nuclear winter idea where Godzilla has like kind of like raised the planet, with his like atomic whatever. And it didn't get very far, and I can't remember what I was working on at the same time, but it kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. And then I was kind of like, talking to the editor, and I was just like, I don't know if I have anything to say about Godzilla that hasn't already been said better by somebody else. So like, what if we did a Mothra story? Like, there's no Mothra comic, right? Mm-hmm. And Mothra has, all like the magical stuff that I love, and I love like the twin fairies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so the editor was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that. And then so I took all those Godzilla things and transplanted it to Mothra. And I was just like, okay, well, like if I'm going to draw Mothra, I still don't want to draw cities and crowds and stuff. What if it's just Mothra in the apocalypse and she has to kind of restart the planet? And then I got busy with other stuff, but I had been talking to Matt about, all of this, like as it went along. And at one point, Matt was just like, hey, remember that Mothra pitch? Like what if I drew it? And I was just like, yes, let's do it.
And did you and Matt already know each other, or was it just that brought y'all together? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we kind of knew each other from, just like the kaiju fandom, I guess. And we had been doing like design challenges together. We would like pick a monster.
Oh, wow.
Then we would each do our own, take on the monster and then kind of like compare them at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, getting back to this, the Matt killed it on the art.
Oh, yeah, and then absolutely.
The story that you're telling as well. It was just overall everything just flowed.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate everything.
Yeah, the action, the background. I mean, even the colors that Matt picked. I mean, it's just gorgeous overall. Everything, just the whole page. I mean,
yeah. And I saw Matt posting. I think he did everything like watercolor, or was it like pencils, or I forgot what
he was doing like markers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and then Matt brought in his friend Roberto, who helped out too, because like we were like really crunched.
Yeah, I know Roberto. He's been at our show before as a guest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man.
Yeah, I really felt like the three of us were like, firing on all cylinders for most of that. Well, no, maybe all of the series, yeah. I think it was all great.
All of you have the love and passion for kaiju. I mean, Matt grew up. That's what his focus was. I mean, he literally, guys, if you don't know who Matt is, he grew up in San Antonio, Texas. His Godzilla phase that he grew up as a kid and transitioned to doing it for a job
Yep.
has been crazy. He's done some Transformer stuff and he's done numerous Ultraman. I mean, guys,
He
go
did
look. Yeah.
yeah, he did all the artwork for the Gamera box set from Arrow,
Oh yeah, I saw him post that.
which I will never forgive him for. But yeah, he did. That's like, yeah, he did that. You know, he does like, yeah, like a lot of like official
Yeah.
Godzilla stuff.
I mean,
And
that's the thing.
it continued you knowing the future, Sophie, because in Wet Moon you predicted that you would work on Gem. You predicted that you would work that you would work on Turtles. There was a turtle t-shirt in there.
Yeah.
And now that you're doing work with DC, I'm just waiting for the Sophie Campbell Batman Beyond.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I love Batman Beyond.
But even I remember seeing little kaiju figures in Trilby's room and a Gamera and stuff like that. So
Gamera is my guy. He is the best one.
So now we're jumping to Supergirl because you have bought some characters in that to this issues as well. And of course, we know if you're reading DC, you know, the DC has fought Godzilla. Now, are we going to see Supergirl fight a kaiju in general, a big monster like they did in Superman the movie? Is there a potential later we may see something like that? Because
I mean,
I feel we need a battle with some type of kaiju monster in this.
She did fight Titano in issue 2.
yeah, I was gonna say there
Yeah.
was a giant gorilla.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Like, is it because he's not big enough, or is it because he's trampling like a suburban town? Like, what's
It's not big
the
enough.
cutoff?
I want bigger.
Bigger. Okay.
I'll see what I can do.
The series is great overall. I mean, even the art, like you know, Nasser was talking about. What was the best part that you loved drawing Supergirl?
I guess her hair.
Her hair.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, you have it in every scene is different, and I love the costume. I love what you did with the costume.
Well, which ones? Because Sophie's busting out costumes from every era.
Yeah, I was going to bring
part
that.
of what I'm loving of the series, Sophie, is that you are pulling deep cuts from
Like-
Supergirl history.
One of my favorite things about like the 70s Supergirl in particular, like, you know, she doesn't change costumes like every issue, but like, you know, like every few issues she'll have a new look, right? Which I love. And so like that's kind of, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Like, she should always have these new costumes.
Well, right up your alley, right? So you don't get bored. Give her a
Yeah,
new costume.
exactly. Like, I get bored when a character has like just one costume.
So if you haven't read it, guys, there might be a few spoilers. But the robot in the hollow tree.
Thank you. That was one of the first things that I asked my editor about, like when I was doing research and stuff. I was like, "Has anybody ever followed up on this?"
That poor robot's just been there for 50 years.
Right. And like, I love that about those old comics, though, where it's like there's this just sort of like manic energy or something, where it's just like, yeah, she's in the tree. It doesn't matter. We're moving on.
Yeah.
You know, which I love.
But I'm loving the whole series because you're giving it that classic like flavor. Like for me, Supergirl, like every month when the new issue comes out, that's my palate cleanser.
Oh,
thank you. Once I'm reading everything about how Dr. Doom's trying to take over the world or this universe ending event is happening, then I go to Supergirl and like I'm just seeing what's happening in Midvale.
right. Yeah, I try to keep it like we're getting a little dark and violent with issue 11, but like generally I try to keep it like, I don't know, like not too heavy, you know.
Yeah. But even your covers are reminiscent of old comic covers where they're talking, or you actually know what's happening that issue by what's on the cover. It's not just a pinup.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Like I just love everything you're doing with it. And what was it that made you want to go back to like a kind of Silver Age, more storytelling style?
I guess like, you know, I did I kind of like when they approached me with the job, I kind of like sampled from like each era, you know, like my main Supergirl touchstone is the CW show.
Yeah.
Which I was
Same.
like I was a huge into the Arrowverse for a while.
Mhm. It was so good for a while.
Yeah, for a while. The Flash though, that was like my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Like season 4, like 4 through like 6 of the Flash was like perfect. Like that's the level that I wanted.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah. Like that was my main touchstone, but I didn't want to just, you know, do the show but in a comic, or kind of like do my usual thing transplanted into Supergirl. But like when, you know, sampling all these eras and stuff, like the Bronze Age stuff, that's the stuff that like really jumped out at me. I was just like I love the kind of like lack of irony in it. You know, I feel like everything nowadays, it always kind of has to have this like, you know, you're kind of like winking at the audience, or just like, so that happened, kind of, you know, and it can't, and like, you know, like everybody's so obsessed with like lore now, you know, and like those old 70s books, like sometimes they would have callbacks to like earlier stuff, but it's like they were never like beholden to it.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, like that's really, I found that like really fun and refreshing. And like, yeah, like this issue they're doing this, and where did it come from? Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like not everything has to be explained. And yeah, so I really tried to kind of like, you know, fight my tendencies to kind of like ground everything and like explain it, or just like,
And everyone started talking about emotions and stuff.
yeah, well, you know, I do have some of that in there. You know, it gets a little touchy feely, but you know, thought balloons too. Like, why does nobody use thought balloons anymore? I don't know. Is it because the cloud looks silly? I don't know what it is. And it's like,
That
yeah,
is
let's
true.
bring thought balloons back.
I love it. I love it so much.
Thank you.
But you know, you were talking about like not being beholden to the lore, but you are bringing back so many things that were maybe in a random 50s comic or something. Her color changing comb, or like stuff like that.
Right, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
and for me, like you were saying, like the CW, Supergirl, and Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow, pretty much my only experience with Supergirl. But when I'm reading your Supergirl, I see bits of both of those where it's recognizable to me. It's not Tom King's Supergirl is over here and yours is over here. I can see how she went from that adventure to now what she's doing in Midvale.
yeah, you know, like, you know, you know, it's not like absolute Supergirl or something where it's completely different, you know, which would be fun, don't get me wrong. But like, you know, I still wanted it to like kind of connect and you know, feel like the same character, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. And it is, that's the thing. And there's going to be a new jumping on point coming soon for people. What can fans expect for this jumping on point if they haven't been reading it currently? What can they expect for the jumping on point?
Is number 11 the jumping on point?
I think that's what they said it was going to be, number 11, yeah. Or 12, yeah. I think. 12, I think.
Oh, 12, okay. Well, yeah, so number 11 through 11, 12, 13, 15 is like one story arc. Like I wanted to do like a longer story arc, you know.
Oh, okay. Now so they're going to be able to get on and read this whole arc and get into it. Okay.
Yeah, and she goes to Kandor, and it's like 5 issues in Kandor.
Oh, so, wow.
You know, it's gonna be a little more violent, you know, because I like blood.
Oh, so some fight scenes.
There's gonna be some fight scenes, you know, a little more serious, I guess, but still has thought balloons.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you already
Nice.
have your planned breaks in this arc coming up, or?
I'm hoping to draw the entire arc myself. Like I've already finished
Oh
number
wow.
11.
Oh, okay.
I have like up through 14 written already.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
So we'll see if I can stay on task.
So we get to the point where we ask the creators and the artist, do you do digital? Or are you 50-50? Where are you at now with drawing?
I am mostly digital these days, but I will occasionally do covers traditional, or
Oh, nice.
like when I was working on Turtles, you know, like when I wasn't drawing it and I would do like it's like issue like 128, I think, where there are these scenes of Donatello and Venus in like the astral plane. And like, you know, to help out the main artist, like I jumped in and I did like 5 pages or something.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did those traditional.
Nice.
But yeah, mostly digital because it's easier on my hand and my wrist and stuff. Like I have a lot of like hand arm problems. And I did the cover of Supergirl number 6 traditionally, because I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to my roots, and I'm gonna do 6, you know, the interior traditional. And like, you know, after I did that cover, I was just like, no, that's not happening.
Oh yeah, and that covers a callback to an old issue,
Yeah.
so that's an awesome one. I'm sure a collector will snap that one up.
I hope so. Yeah, somebody buy my originals.
Do you have an art dealer, Sophie?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I did hear in a previous interview, I don't know how long ago it was, that you just had piles of artwork in a closet somewhere.
That is also true.
So I'm just
What?
wondering if you have any Wet Moon in
I
there,
have.
any gem in there, please send me an email, let me know.
I think because I drew gem number 1 traditionally. I think I still have those pages.
Wow.
But yeah, I have stacks of Wet Moon pages and stuff in the closet, like right back here.
All right.
Well,
yeah, we'll be in contact.
A lot of it is like, you know, with my art dealer, it's like I have to send them pages, and I'm just like, I can't do it, and I don't have like an assistant or somebody to do it for me anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
So out of all that artwork that you have, is there a piece that's like you cherish? Like you're like, I'm not going to get rid of this one.
Not at all.
Really?
I don't care. I really don't care.
See, that's my thing. I love going to conventions and getting, you know, commissions on sketch covers and stuff like that. Do you do that at shows at all, or no?
I have in the past, yeah. Back when I used to do conventions, like I would do sketches for people and you know, stuff like that.
Do you not really do conventions anymore?
I think the last convention I did was 2019. I did Gem Con in Buffalo, New York.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yep.
How was that?
That was super fun, and the main reason I did it because like every year Gem Con is in a different place.
Yeah.
And that year I was just like, oh, they're in Buffalo. I can drive there in like an hour. Like I'll just go and drive back the same night. You know, perfect.
Wow. See,
so you're saying we're not getting you to San Antonio, Texas, no?
which is even crazier because that's where my sister lives, and I have never been down there.
Yeah, and Matt is right up in Austin. So.
Yeah, in Austin.
There we go. We gotta get that. I gotta talk to Matt. I'm saying, hey Matt, we gotta get her down here. We gotta get down here.
I don't know what happened. Like I used to go to like San Diego every year. I used to go to New York Comic Con every year. I would go to TCAF in Toronto and stuff. And then at some point I just like kind of hit a wall.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I just stopped. I just didn't do cons for like years.
I get
So-
it. We're probably around the same age, and I'm a huge basketball fan. And for a while, I was just like, I'm gonna watch a basketball game in every city. So there's 30 NBA teams.
That's a
I
lot.
got through like 15 of them, and I was like, I don't want to go anymore.
Like, I get the gist.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, man, dealing with airports and
That's a
delays. And,
huge, yeah, that's like a huge part of it for me. If I could just like teleport
yeah.
to a convention, I would
I'd
be
go to
there,
so
like, in
many
seconds.
places.
Yeah, but it's just like I was like, I can't deal with like I'm not like scared of flying. I just like, it's just too much. I can't deal with it. And like I've had conventions like, offer me like free trip, like room and board, blah blah blah. Like, we'll pay for you to fly to Belgium, the Netherlands,
Wow.
Italy, and I'm just like, nah, I don't think so.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I get it.
Oh,
I would just like, I appreciate the attention. I really do. Thank you for asking. I'm sure the people there are lovely. I'm sure the food there is incredible. But I really just want to like lie down on the couch. I want to go to sleep in like my own bed.
Uh-huh.
Like
yeah.
my lower half. I'm still in my pajamas over here. I just want to relax. And
I think
Yeah,
as
I
we
get
get
it.
older, we just feel more comfortable at home. I feel that too. I have to kind of make myself go out to like shows and get interviews.
yeah,
I used to
Yeah.
do it like I could go early, get there early, stand in the lines. Now I'm like, man, I gotta go. But if I don't go, I don't network. I'm like,
Yeah, all my stuff is at home. That's what
I know, right? Like I just want to, like I want to be somewhere where like I can open the fridge and like I know what's in there. Like that level of like comfort is nice.
yeah.
And not to sound even more of an old man, but then the recovery time when you get home.
I know. It's like the week leading up to the trip, and then like the week after, like is shot.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I went to an event on Friday night last week for a Spurs event. I went from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 o'clock at night. I
Oh
got
my
home. I
God.
told my wife, I'm too old for this shit. I was on my feet that whole time and doing stuff and editing video, and I was like, man, I forgot how crazy this and hectic this is. I'm like, wow. But anyway, yes, I think it's just our age gets to us.
Yeah, I mean, but like my dad, he's 70 now, and he's like a big traveler.
Really?
He is flying to San Antonio to visit my sister and my nephews all the time. He goes to, he'll fly up here for like a weekend so he can go hiking and like the cat. He's going to, oh God, I think it's like Belgium or something in like a few months to hike this like specific mountain in Belgium or something. He's like a big hiker. It's
Good
just
for
like,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much.
But I was checking out the clock here, Sophie. Before like we let you go, I did have to ask the spot on the floor in Wet Moon. Did you have a plan for it, or was there just no plan?
There is. I do know what it is. I had a version of Volume 7 where it was explained, but
we saw another spot in Fern's house. Are they related?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had this whole explanation that I put in Volume 7, and I scrapped it at like kind of at the last minute. I was like, no, I'm not going to explain it. Forget it. It's stupid. And like I had a couple of friends who were like, you have to explain it.
Yes.
You have to put that in there. You have to explain it. At least the floor spot kind of thing. I'm just like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like maybe I should. And then I just felt like at that point, like if I it's never, the explanation is never, it's never gonna be cool. It's gonna be like people just gonna be like, oh, that's
That
what
was
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
So
You're building mystique. Okay.
right, building mystique for sure. And just
I have heard you talk about that you've had ideas about revisiting the characters again now in their 30s.
yeah, I would. That would be great. Like, yeah, I would love to just like I don't know, just draw like kind of like normal people again. That'd be like really fun. I think.
Yeah. And they just did the 20th anniversary editions last year. Do you ever have any kind of plans for like a Scott Pilgrim type thing, like do a colorized version or anything?
I would love to do that. That'd be great. Like I would love hardcovers. I think like I talked to my editor at Oni, and they were just like, yeah, it's just like not it's not cost feasible. Like you're not Scott Pilgrim. So
Oh man, I would love a like hardcover box set. That'd be
that'd
cool.
be so great. Yeah, I would love
Kickstarter.
No,
Oh, yeah.
it's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
maybe someday.
before we go, for people who are not reading Supergirl, what would you tell them to entice them? Like, hey, you need to pick up this book.
It's got Princess Shark in it. She's like a shark with giant boobs. It's got a lot of. It's got a lot of super pets in it.
Yeah,
It's
pets are the best.
Yeah, I feel like the super pets in Princess Shark. I feel like those are, pretty good. Oh,
And
it's got Supergirl going to a goth club, so that's pretty cool.
oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, there's Sophie. There she is.
Going back to my roots.
But I'll throw in a couple for Sophie who doesn't want to, come across as too hard of a sell. It is just such a refreshing book compared to everything else on the stands.
Yeah.
It does really have a throwback of a Bronze Age. It's just fun. It has heart, and it's still the character that you'll recognize if you've read, Tom King's book or if you've watched the Supergirl show. So definitely pick it up.
Thank you. Yeah, you're much better at this than I am.
We'll count down. Go check the work that she's worked on. I got to go now and read this that Nasser is talking about, the one that you did. I did not know about that. I'm going to have to read that. Nasser, I'm going to have to borrow your books.
Yeah, no, you can't have my books.
But yeah, guys, go follow and check out the comic. The artwork is beautiful.
Oh yeah, so where can people follow you if they want to keep up with you?
I am on Blue Sky. What is my Blue Sky handle? I don't even remember. What am I? My Mooncalf1 on Blue Sky?
Okay.
Yes. So MOONCALFE and then the number 1 at Blue Sky.
Okay.
Nice.
Any website or newsletter or anything?
I got nothing.
Okay. So just Blue Sky. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Go follow Sophie.
I really need to set up some kind of website now though. Like
yeah, if you want to get rid of some of that original art.
That too. Like I was trying to get in on doing some art for like RPG stuff because I'm a big like tabletop RPG fan.
Oh, nice.
And the publisher was just like, yeah, just send me a link to your portfolio. And I was just like, shit, I don't have a link to my portfolio. So I'm like quickly setting up this like new Tumblr page, like really cool. It's like dump a whole bunch of art. Yeah, I really need like some kind of website, but
that requires
someday.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, someday.
All right, guys. Like I said, go check her out. Check everything. Nasser is working on an awesome show again. If you didn't know, November next year.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure out a way to get Sophie down here. That's all I got to say. But yeah, guys, follow for more interviews.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sophie.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right, guys, peace.
All right, see ya.